Oh, to answer your question, James, I will tell you on Facebook later if you care. Man, that's such a tilt that I pressed that button wrong yet again. One of these days I'll learn to press it right. Pop up the dono thing again. You hate what? Is this a key? Is this hand even remotely keepable? This hand doesn't feel keepable to me. Like there's some decks that this hand feels just as bad. I might have kept that other hand on the play. To see what they play, but it's probably not good for us. The swamp makes it a little bit better. I've not tried to watch any of it. Long Tusk Cub? Sure. So I feel like we're going to be behind the 8 ball in this match. Whereas if we were on the play, I feel like we would have probably ran away with it. Oh my, they have black cards. And they have Nissas? So this is black-green then? That Nissa's going to be a problem then, isn't it? We don't really have ways to kill planeswalkers. We don't really have ways to attack through a plant. Like, that Nissa's probably going to crush us. I don't think there's a way to kill a planeswalker in the entire main deck without an attack, which doesn't really work versus plants. So, we can disallow a trigger at some point, but that's like our only real way to stop it from ultimating. Beyond that, our hand's actually pretty good. He may not have an answer for this, which would be nice. We do have a Supreme Will, which is pretty nice. Yeah, he can have that too. It's kind of poor sequencing. There's like some chance you counterspell this if you don't see that he has the land drop, so. Eh, that thing does a lot. Really would like to find an untapped like island or swamp here. That is neither of those things. It is a counterspell though. Yeah, that Nissa's getting bigger and bigger. And bigger. And bigger. Walking ballista? Sure. But he may not even go for it, though, so like you can't leave that in play. Alright. Really want to draw a land there again. How often do I say that I want to draw a land? How often do I say that I want to draw a land? He gets to draw a million cards of that, or a million cards of the other. I guess we can't get rid of the disallow now. Let it rain. I just feel like I never draw lands. But that's fine. We've not lost this game, like... That's definitely one of the cards we need. We'd like to find an untapped land. That's the other card we need. Alright. So we're still in this game. Still in this game. It's fun to still be in this game. This is kind of interesting. Do we just hard slam the Scarab God knowing that it's very likely to resolve and start, or very likely to not die, and like start doing the Scarab God things? Or do we just slam a Glimmer and look for a removal spell for the Glint? I kind of like just playing the Scarab God. If he takes an entire turn to kill it, it's not the end of the world for us. And I assume he's probably just playing mostly Graphs and mostly Fatal Pushes. So, like, sure, he could draw another black source and be able to Deadlands it plus more, but, like, still not getting it out, I think. Alright. There's a very good odds that our Scarab God at least survives this turn. Tapping 4. Alright, so it's just a 3-3. Wouldn't be the first time I've kept a 7-lander. So like a Fatal Push or something would be the best thing we could have got. Beyond that, I'm pretty sure I need to Glimmer and look for an answer for this. The Scarab God could die, but it takes a good portion of his mana. We don't want either of these. Pretty easy to know we don't want either of those. Uh-oh. This game's going poorly. Guess we got 4 cards off the top of the deck that we didn't want at all. Not being able to find another answer for that Glint sleeve siphoner was just brutal. Another Deadlands? Ugh. Stop it. Stop it, opponent. Stop it right now. I guess that's better than him having a grasp, though, right? Technically, we can get his walking ballista back and kill his glint this now. Wonder if it's worth the scry. It's probably worth the scry. Now it's probably not worth the scry. It's probably better just to use the fatal push on it. This attack was bad because he could have blossoming defense. This attack was terrible. Alright, I'm just going to use a fatal push here, I think. Actually, I guess I'm just going to let him get his card. If I use a fatal push and he has a blossoming defense, I get pretty ruined. So I'd rather hold up the 4 mana to either get the Scarab God or to use the Glimmer. I guess that's fine. You let the Scarab God stay in play? That's 4 cards in his hand now. Yeah, I'm fine with that too. That doesn't change any of the cards that we actually have. I do in fact have a 5 mana 1/1 that's playing reanimation spells, which is pretty nice. So his cards in hand have to be pretty good, because he is definitely not using fatal pushes. Put that on the bottom. Draw. We're definitely going to draw a card. We can buy back multiple things now, or we can use the Glimmer. Probably just going to be buying back multiple things. Alright, so does he finally have the blossoming defense that I've been playing around? I'm actually going to censor that. This cleans up his board pretty good. And I want him to tap his last mana in case he has a second defense. Killing this matters more than trying to save this. Like, this can just die. Who cares? Like, I get another one. But killing his card draw engine's pretty important, I think. Sure, little long tusk cubby. Walking Ballista's kind of annoying, but that's kind of interesting. Let's do this then. Let's make him go ahead and kill his Ballista. Whoops. Whatever. Let's make him kill his Ballista. Tapped one too many mana, but it untaps automatically because it's Moto. I think I'm playing this game okay, but like, there's actually a lot of decisions. Scarab gods do so much. Oh, hello, Mr. Gearhulk. How are you today? Are you ready to come out and play? So we have 6 mana. We can actually just play to Gearhulk if we need. Or we can buy back some kind of little Zombro thing. It depends on what he plays and what he does. Looks like he's tapping a lot of mana for whatever it is, though, so he's very likely getting disallowed whatever it is. He's tapping his mana like as a walking ballista. He probably scoops to this. Yeah, he scooped. That was kind of an interesting, funnish little game. Interesting, funnish little game. I don't think he should have went for the Nissa ulti when he did, but it might not have affected anything. Alright, so scared to death of cards. Scared to death of cards. Scared to death of like random planeswalkers. I guess the Tutor Slaughter's not great. I have to have Delirium before it matters. I wonder if the Gifted Everborns and the Kalitases are any good. The Kalitases are any good. The Kalitas. I feel like these cards are usable, but don't think Flame Tendrils is super good. Don't think Negate's super good. I think it's fine, but like I don't think it's actively good. I think Supreme Will's worse than Disallow, especially when we know they have Planeswalkers. I guess they have enough removal spells that maybe the Gifted Everborn just isn't good enough. I do think I like the Kalitas still, though. The Kalitas seem like they can do things in the late game. Alright, we'll try this. I'm really salty, by the way, that I messed up when I clicked my stream off a while ago. This hand's keepable, but not good. Like, if they have a turn 2 snake, we probably lose, but like, we have fatal pushes and we have grass that we can find. They don't always have to have a turn 2 snake. I guess a turn 2 long tusk cub is just as good. Not going to play the Faded Pools. Plan is to probably cycle it. Maybe to even cycle the Censor. Oh, Transgress? Alright, well that isn't one we're worried about. Have a nice little removal spell now. And blue-black seems pretty good. It feels like it's missing a few cards, but overall it seems pretty good. That's actually worth an Essence Scatter because it's a card draw spell for him. We moved? What do you mean moved? Esper's not bad, that's for sure. So what are they going to resolve this turn? Or try to resolve? I kind of want to Supreme Will that just for the fact that we know that they play Blossoming Defense. Maybe a little overkill. That may be a little overkill, but he showed us Blossoming Defense already. I think he still knows we have the swamp, so we'll show him the swamp. Sure, that's a Harvester. He's down to 2 cards. He's got to find a way to crew it. If we didn't want the first one, we don't want the second one. We don't want that one either. Thanks for the host, Total. Appreciate it, man. How was your stream today? Oh, it's not a host. You might not even be here. I have absolutely no idea, JJ. We've been streaming. We've not watched the announcement yet. I'm assuming it's just a new Duels of the Planeswalker with like a different name or something. Would be my assumption. But I don't know if that's accurate. That would be my assumption of what it is. So now we'll see if we were right to play around the Blossoming Defense earlier. We can't play around it now, so... looks like we were wrong to play around it earlier. And we can get rid of this censor now. Like, he's played around with it he's played around it the entire game. Fatal Push isn't a terrible one. But Jordan, is there going to be tournaments and stuff, or do you just like play somebody and have like a leaderboard like Hearthstone? We've drawn 10 out of our 17 lands of spell. So there's no tournaments and stuff. It's just a bad Hearthstone, like I said. Well, not a bad Hearthstone, but I mean, it's a good option for people on budgets, I guess. Do you have to craft your cards and stuff, or does it just give you all the cards? Like, do you have to buy packs and craft cards and stuff? Alright, deck. We've now hit 11 lands out of 18 cards. They wouldn't say? Well, if it's on phones, it might be useful. But I heard somebody say they didn't think it was going to be on phones. Our opponents and I have drawn a lot of lands. Go ahead and impulse with the Supreme Will and hopefully find another Glimmer. Scarab God and or Glimmer. Well, that's an easy choice. That is an easy choice, friends. Scarab God, you're my bae. This is our first match, and it's looking pretty good so far. It's our first match on today with Scarab God. Oh, Scarab God, how we love you. Scarab God, we love you. Scarab God, you are bae. Die young. Choose target creature. You may get energy. Then you may pay energy. The creature gets minus. Oh, well, this Scarab God is dead Reno. So what do we want to get back? Let's get back a glint. Let's get back a 4/4 menace. I'm still liking the look of Teamer Energy. Some of the dinosaurs have looked pretty appealing, and Red Deck wins with Lightning Strike is a scary thought. Does he have a way to get it out of my graveyard, or is he just giving me back another 5/5? 5 mana? Could be a way for him to get it back. Well, they have a digital game like that right now. Should probably keep working on it. Die Young was kind of a sweet card. I kind of want to kill that. Like, they have no more cards in hand and they can't accrue. There is absolutely no reason for them to separate them. There is no reason to have two different clients. And that also makes no sense for Arena to be all about standards, because if you're buying boosters, like, that doesn't even make sense. If you're buying boosters to get cards, as soon as that card rotates, it's like no longer standard and you've spent this money for nothing. It makes actual no sense. Yeah, the 7.6 is pretty good. I really like the I think it's called Regisaur or whatever, that lets you put a 3/3 haster into play too. So we go until 11, they go back to 15, and then they're Dobbs. They're the old Dobbs. Hellbent and Dobbs. Because we get to... We don't even need to bother with this, but we'll go ahead and get this back anyway. I guess since I've already accidentally tapped out, we'll do that too. Since I tapped one too much mana, we'll do that too, but They Were Dead was just a Scarab God trigger. So far, this deck's been pretty decent. Like, I feel like it's got a few flaws and a few weak spots, but overall, I feel like it's pretty decent. It feels like it's weak to Planeswalkers, and the sideboarding feels awkward. Yeah, Wizards, as usual, has no idea what they're doing. But the deck's been pretty fine so far. Went 3-2 with it yesterday. We're about to be 1-0 with it today. Like, he's hell bent, so he's dead on board. They just changed high management, and the first decision they make sounds like it's clearly not thought out. Anyway, if you like what you're watching, you should give us a follow. And if you like what you're watching a lot, you should go to the links down below and click on the Twitter and the YouTube and follow both of those as well, especially following the YouTube. That's pretty important. On the Twitter, you'll see every time I go live, every deck list I play, and just my random thoughts on things. On the YouTube, you'll see all of the streams, eventually some other content, and on every YouTube video, there's a deck list, a link to the Twitch, and a link to the Twitter. And you can type !deck list in chat if you want. It even opens up a clickable deck list. This has a clickable deck list that you can read instead of like just hovering over the pictures. I think we want the double black, so I think it's fine to play that first. Hey, the duck goes quack. Anybody knows me, they know the duck song is my bae. So we're playing versus like some human deck. We'll take a point of damage here so we can slam the Essence Scatter on something. Alright. Well, I guess we won't slam the Essence Scatter on something. They could have Hanaware Garrisons, so we're going to use the Fatal Push even though it's less mana efficient. Looks like it. I can't think of any other reason you'd have Envoy in the deck. Alright. So now we're prepared to cycle the Fetid Pools, and this is kind of like poor mana management, but I wanted to make sure we had a second answer to Hanaware Garrisons. Alright, well he just didn't play anything, so maybe he's not humans. I can't imagine a 6-card or a 7-card keep with a human deck that's only got one human. So we have to see what's going on here. Hopefully it's not like Gitaroo. If it is Gideon, we are going to cycle the pools and hope to hit the Censor or the Negate. Same with Chandra. Any 4-drop we would do that. This deck feels like it's kind of weak to Planeswalkers, so... And Jordan pretty well. Yori sounds like you told me everything that I needed to know. This allows a nice pickup. Gives us some prayers versus like a counter spell, or some prayers versus a big walker or whatever. So like we're really in like awkward shape here because we very much want to draw a draw to, but there's only the 4 in the deck. This card was actually very good. It's going to cause us some problems this game. So draw 2 or Torrential Gearhulk are the draws we want most of all. He's 2-1, like he's not doing bad. Why is that blacked out for us? That's so awkward that that's blacked out. I guess he just has a real bad draw. It's definitely humans. He's gonna have his Gossip Mongler. I guess he could have Archangel Avacyn or something now? And he waddles away. That's actually a pretty good card. We will take our point of damage and we will be sad. Our opponent just drew every land in his deck, it appears. I'm not going to waste a Torrential Gearhulk on a Thraben Inspector. Just take our point of damage. Go on our merry way. Would like to draw at least a Supreme Will. Our opponent has drawn an extra card. Sure. Well, that one is good enough for us to cast the Torrential Gearhulk versus, because they can't play any other relevant spells. Hopefully we get to block. He could have a Braid. He's got 5 cards in his hand still, though. Like, he could have plenty of things. Declaration Stone, sure. Like I said, I feel like we need to draw 2 to win. We have drawn 10 land and 18 spells again. What are you? Attacks. As it attacks, when you do, return target creature. That seems like it's good enough to counterspell. That seems good enough to counterspell. And that seems good enough to kill. F6 value if I do it now. Alright, I have another Essence Scatter. At least that's usable. I have to try to counterspell all creatures that are played now the rest of the game. Until we hit a Scarab God. He tapped an extra mana, so he either A has another creature, or B... Okay. Well, we ran out. 20 cards down, we've not found one of our 4 Glimmers or one of our 4 Supreme Wills. A 1-1? Alright. We survived that for a little while. Disallow stops the next big threat. Scarab God would be useful right now. We could get like a Thraben Inspector back. Pretty close to being able to activate it multiple times too. Yeah, the next big 2 spells. Just throwing a runes at us? That seems greedy. Does he have burn spells in his hand? Scarab Godorino. I feel like our opponent has a bunch of decking stones and stuff. So I feel like casting Disallow on this probably isn't the greatest. Kind of feel like it's just better to get a creature. Like, we're getting pretty far into our deck, and drawing cards seems better than saving. If we had an extra mana, but like he's still got 3 cards in hand, so I feel like he has another answer to it regardless. If he has another answer to it regardless, like it's better for me just to draw 2 cards, I think. He could have not had another answer though, and this could just end up being a giant mistake. Again, we're 34 cards deep in our deck though, and we've not drawn 1 of 8, so we've got 12 decent draw steps. Don't care about that. Yeah, start attacking now. We have a fatal push for this thing. It's kind of cool that he's got multiple ways to give his dudes haste. Feeling pretty strong now. I'm mostly playing this just because I want the Gearhulk in play. Would not protect this from anything. It's a 2-turn clock regardless. I'll use the removal spell next turn if we need to. So we've gotten 17 lands and 29 cards now. Okay, we'll take 2 damage. He did have burn spells. Sure. I don't think there's anything he can get that wins. You know, we have a disallow and we have a fatal push. So the Thraying seem like they're going to be very good here. The Gifted Everborn seem like they're going to be pretty good here. The Kalitosas seem like they're pretty good here. The Lilianas actually seem like they're pretty good here. He's going to have some kind of counterspell, right? So, like, that seems decent. I feel like this deck really needs a second or third one of these. And that's, like, the biggest thing that it needs, probably. If I'm assuming cards that aren't the greatest, I would probably start with more of the top end. Pretty sure we want to keep all of this stuff. Maybe the sensors aren't good enough on the draw. Taking out a sensor seems wrong ever, right? Like, sensors have to probably just be better than disallow. Alright, we'll try this. I have no idea how to sideboard. Short on lands, but seems reasonable. A Hanover Garrison would be very hard to beat. Feel okay versus most other cards, probably. That was obviously good. Second black would be nice. If you just resolve the planeswalker, oh, the double needle spires is going to be very hard for us to beat in this spot. That card is going to be practically impossible for us to beat in this spot, I think. Yeah, that card's going to be... Oh well. It's another deck that Fumigates are better versus. Fumigates probably wouldn't be enough in this spot either, but we took like 1,000,000 damage. Don't think we have an out. Like, fraying doesn't even do it. We just die to the lands. Yep. We dubs. Probably shouldn't have showed him this. I probably should have just conceded. Oh. Thought he gave us a chance for a second, but nope. We certainly don't beat that. I think we'd have lost to the lands either way. We really needed to gain the life. Don't think I want to bring anything else in. I think this is really about the best we can do versus them. We just need as many things as we can to try to mess with his creatures. This hand seems fine. He can probably get a turn 1 creature down, but hopefully it's not too good a one. Expertise would be nice, though. Bontu's Reckoning would be nice. That thing might be nice this game. Well, that's a little disappointing. I guess we allow that. And then just fraying. He didn't even attack for 1. We have a never if he has a garrison. Garrison would be very hard for us to beat. I about tried to counterspell that last turn because I was afraid of the flip, but so let's see. Now he can kill Liliana if he wants. But it takes his whole turn to do so. Or we could just never this and try to protect the Liliana. I think I like nevering. It's only bad versus it's really only bad versus exactly Hanawir. Or Planeswalkers, I guess, but I guess it's bad versus all of his free drops. Yeah, bad versus all of his free drops. Alright, so we need to draw another Tendrils. He is out of cards, though. Fatal Push doesn't do nothing. Doesn't do much of anything, though, does it? So we can get a 2/2 to, like, stop this thing. and still have Fatal Push. Seems like our better play that turn, even though we're still going to take a pretty large chunk of damage. Yeah, well, we've taken control of the board back, as long as he didn't draw a good 3-drop or a good 4-drop. I believe playing this is better than playing the Scarab God. So to kill this, he has to take his entire turn, or he has to draw a Thalia. Well, he drew a Thalia. Still takes his entire attack step, though. So now we're trying to fade Declaration in Stone, or potentially hit another... Well, a second Glimmer doesn't do anything, so now we just have to slam this and hope. I wonder if I should have censored on turn 1. If I'd censored on that turn 3, or turn 2, I think we would have been in a lot better shape. And he drew that. Wow. That's brutal. So we don't have many outs. That was a brutal draw. Needed him not to have it that turn. So if we block here, we go to 7. We take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We die to that. If we block here, we go to 7. We take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So either way, we die to that. Well, if we're dying to that either way, we might as well block this one. I guess if we're dying to that either way, we should block this one. Because if we block this one, if we draw Threing, we're still alive. Or we're not dead. Alright, if he had an untapped land, we're dead, though. Yeah, he had an untapped land. Alright. Well, I thought we were going to win that game. I thought we were going to win that game pretty hard. I may have lost that game when I didn't play the Censor. I wasn't really drawing anything, so... Guess we didn't lose that game when we didn't play the Censor, but... It's whatever. Alright, so the match started. I honestly didn't think we could lose that last round. And then guess what? We did lose that last round. Alright, I guess this hand's a keep, and they mulligan, so... Not drawing some of the 8 removal spells seems pretty anemic for the deck. Very unlikely cycling the Censor, so I'm just going to go ahead and play the Sunken Hollows, even though giving myself the option was probably better. We have kind of 4 counter spells in our hand. So this versus what appears to be Teamer, which is probably a good match. May not be Teamer, could also be... Could be a number of things. Oh, if they're not playing spells, I'm not playing spells. They could be playing a round sensor. Or they could have every FR hub in their deck. If I can't cast sensor this turn, I'm willing to cycle it. So they played Mountain. Alright, I give up. We're playing Chicken. Just wanted to try to ensure we hit the land drop. The full playset of FR Hubmarinos. Ronus? Ronus is too good. I prefer to bring in a 4th Glorybringer to the sideboard instead of Dispels or some other stuff. 2 Appetites probably is too much. One Unnatural is probably about right. The only other card I really like is Negate. Alright, well, we're on board for Torrential Gearhulking, but they could have a lot of different things that make Torrential Gearhulking bad. Well, I guess they can't have anything that makes it bad, but like they can have cards that make it less good. We'll say it like that. I'm actually just going to go ahead and Gearhulk. See if we can get the game over with. We got several counter spells to try to protect it. Four Negate, 2 Coup, 2 Flames, 2 Firebirds. That's a cool one. Yeah, that seems like a pretty normal sideboard. Seems like a pretty good sideboard. The Planeswalkers are pretty good out of the board too, though. If you're in that kind of mood ever. Like I wouldn't be opposed to having Chandras in the sideboard, either big or little. I mean, I guess we could save this if we wanted. We still have an Essence Scatter, so... Yeah, we still have an Essence Scatter. Oh, budget more than mood. That's fair. You're going to your Nationals with a budget deck? I don't think it's worth saving in that spot because now we have... they would be able to resolve, like, maybe a big spell. I'm not right about anything. I'm not trying to say I'm right. I was just surprised. I keep forgetting that like a lot of other countries don't have as big a travel cost as my country. Like going to my nationals is going to cost me like $1,000 or something, and I couldn't spend $1,000 and play a budget deck, you know. Good luck, man. I hope you do well. I would love to hear you come back and say you qualified. I like how we always have a choice between Scarab God. Scarab God and Glimmer is what we always have our choice from. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I just wasn't thinking when I made that comment up there. We still have an Essence Scatter, and I highly doubt they have Confiscation Coup main deck, so. They do have Confiscation Coup main deck? Oh, we just got wrecked. Main deck Confiscation Coup wrecked us. Okay. I'm just sitting here with like this weird grin on my face because I don't know what to do now. Confiscation Coup main deck. Ooh, that's brutal. It's not on to game 2 yet. We still have a lot of life total, and we might be able to kill it the following turn. We do have to find another grasp, and we have to find it practically this turn. And, that was savage, though. Well, we found a grasp. I guess we'll keep the Glimmer Genius as well. I mean, he's only going to get one creature, right? So, bottom. Do we want this? So, we're spending 3-5. We'll have 3 mana left over. I guess we don't want this one. He's got a second Confiscation Coup. He's definitely going to get us. This is pretty bad for us, though, for sure. So, we have to find some kind of answer for the Glorybringer, but we can do that with, like, another Gearhulk. Or another Scarab God, maybe. So they just have another one of those? Alright, well, we're glad we kept this then. We're certainly drawing Finn now, let's put it that way. So 3, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We wouldn't have enough for the other one, so I guess we'll just wait, see what he does. That certainly was a dagger, though. We weren't going to be able to protect it anyway, unless, like, he could have, like, waited, maybe. Oh my god, and another glory bringer? Alright. Well, that makes things more difficult. Alright, I guess we start with the cycle. Yeah? Alright. If they have another removal spell, we pretty much can't win, I don't think. Actually, we can still win. That's all 4 of their glory bringers too. Alright, good spells, team. Good spells. You just didn't play anything for 35 turns, too. Alright, so now we have a gear hook that we can get back and a removal spell we can use. If they have another confiscation coup, we are the deadest dead that has ever been dead. But we can beat the board again. Beating the board's better than not beating the board. We could even beat Big Chandra. Can't beat Little Chandra, though. Alright, so let's get our gear hook back. Well, we have to be able to kill the Glory Bringer, so we can't do all of that. Have to get a Grasp of Darkness this turn. Yeah, well, we staved off not dying a turn. If they have another confiscation coup, we just pack them up. They tap 2 blue first. Second confiscation coup. What do you do? Alright. What do you do? We got beat by double main deck confiscation coup. And 4 glory bringers. Oh god. My head. I don't think the flame tendrils are very good. Don't typically think the negates are very good either. Maybe the 2 to slaughter's fine? Yeah, maybe the negates are okay because they bring in their own negates. Opponent probably loses to mono red anyway. And negates don't feel good. Okay. We'll play first. I don't think I thanked any of the new followers today. Yeah, this hand's fine. So, thank you, new followers. That one's too good to resolve. That card kills us when we resolve it, so. No land? No land, no problem. We got this. Who needs a land? Who needs a land? Not us. We don't need no land. Rip. There's their second blue mana, so that's a problem. I mean, sure, I guess that resolves. It's something we can, in theory, kill if he doesn't have a, he doesn't have a creature, we don't even care. Great. No more lands. Let's just see which one he tries to resolve. Bristling Hydra? Well, we have to try to counterspell it, and if he has a negate, like, we just lose. He left 2 mana up last turn, so, like, there's a good chance he has a negate. Yeah, whatever. We didn't draw lands. Happens. Well, this isn't going very well. We've lost versus 2 matches that I highly expected to beat. So we'll keep. That seems reasonable. The blue-black deck doesn't seem like it plays from behind nearly as well as the blue-white deck we play. Seems like it's focused more on being able to beat the decks that the blue-white deck can't beat. Zombros? We can beat Zombros, right? So just let him make a dude because we have Fraying? That seems okay. Might even let him make two dudes. Probably not letting him make two dudes anymore. This match seems like it's hard. Seems like another match that we want like Bantu's Reckonings and stuff for. Feels greedy to use this for just two. But getting rid of a Relentless Dead may be worth it. This is a match that Blue-White Approach doesn't really lose to. The one cool thing about this deck is I feel like it's safe to just slam Scarab God versus lots of people. Like, I'm not really even that worried like if he killed my Scarab God here. So is this target? Yeah, another target zombie. So if he blocks, he wouldn't be able to get dude back. That's fine with me. Like, I win the race by a lot here. Not sure if I care about that card, but it's probably fine to counterspell. Sure. I feel like I like taking that guy the most. I feel like I drew really well versus this guy. I feel like when he's on the play, it's going to be pretty easy for him to jump out in front of me. I can get better than that. Oh, okay, he's done. Alright, well that felt pretty good. The consigns feel like they're going to need to... The consigns feel like they're useful. That's what we did do. Alright, so negate doesn't feel great. These feel pretty good. These feel pretty good. And this feels pretty good. So what cards don't seem great here? Supreme Will seems less good than Disallow. Essence Scatters seem fine, even though... I think my biggest problem is I don't really know how to sideboard with this deck. Like, the Fraying seems like it does stuff still. Maybe we don't want the Glimmers. Maybe the Glimmers are too much. Maybe we're using our mana too often. Essence Scatters maybe isn't what I want. I have 12 other drops to play early. Maybe it's just not wanting Essence Scatter. Scatters Cut. Okay. I guess the guy who plays the deck says the same thing that I was thinking. The Disallow seems like I still seem like I need to keep the Disallow to stop Liliana's. Or to like stop Liliana's Masteries. Or like some of the bigger threats they can have. It feels like that to me anyway. Could have played a land on turn 1 and been able to Fatal Push or Relentless Dead. That's probably wrong. No. It turns out it didn't matter. He did not play a Relentless Dead, so pretty happy with our decision on how we played it then. So he knows about all of this stuff. Well, we currently can't stop that, so guess let's not even pretend like we can. I kind of don't want to censor it, or I kind of don't want to Fatal Push it either. Kalatas? Don't mind Kalatas. That means we can just jam one on 4 and not really worry. I mean, he could have a removal spell on 4, but that's fine. Because we can also just slam it on 5. I think I'm fine with taking a couple points of damage from a Scrap Heap Scrounger. Anyway. Got a Kalatas and a Cletus in our hand. Let's put them on opposite ends. You never know what we'll want. We want it all. And we want it now. Alright. We'll take damage. So he can't play a 3-drop this turn. I guess he doesn't know we have the second sensor. So he almost definitely has some kind of removal spell. So we don't care if he kills this. I mean, we care, but there's not a lot we can do about it. Murder's fine. Take a pretty good hit here. Alright, so this one's technically bigger, but this one's a zombie. So we're going to take the actual smaller one, I think. Now we have a Scarab God. Like, even if he kills this, we have a block for this. We can do attacky stuff. Attacky stuff's fun. We'll probably cycle our sensor before we make any decisions, though. Actually, just might. Yeah, we're going to cycle the sensor if we're considering playing the Scarab God at all. Oh, another Fatal Push? That's kind of interesting. Well, you can't really block. And he'll have problems with both guys. So he missed that one land drop, and that one land drop really let us get off to a great start. And he's got to worry about this silly Scarab God a lot. That one doesn't do much. I'm just going to attack with the team next turn. Racing seems fine. I like how the little zombie tokens work with the Scarab God. I can bring back my other Cletus, make it a 4/4, legend roll my one Cletus, and kill his Diagraph Colossus. We can do all the things, friends. Yeah. All the things. We'll do so many of them, you don't even know. Well, that's not a card we really care about. Could technically kill his Relentless Dead, and I think that trigger goes on the stack, so I'm pretty sure I could just, like, steal his Relentless Dead. His Relentless Dead dies to the Fatal Push either way, but... So it's never going to go to the graveyard, but that's if the Cletus wasn't in play, so that's kind of a cute trick, too. Yeah, so, well, there's nothing we can get back, so... Oh, another creature removal spell? How cute. Start with that guy. Let's second with that guy. And attack for 12. That's kind of cute that we could actually use the Scarab God to steal his Relentless Dead if we didn't have a Cletus in play. So now we have like a couple of zombies here. He's on a 2-turn clock, and we're at 20 life. What good spells could he have? He could have... No. Oh, we'd have got an Efferborn, I guess. Alright, so we're 2-2. We lost to Teamer and Red White Humans. We beat stuff. we beat the Zombros, and then we beat something that I didn't think we were going to beat. I am definitely playing in tournaments. How dare you, MTGO bot? Alright, so remember, again, if you like what you're watching, follow the YouTube, follow the Twitter, follow the Twitch. Links to everything are below the video if you're in either of the YouTube or the Twitch. All the deck lists I play and every time I go lives on the Twitch. And the deck list is also in the description on the YouTube. This hand seems fine. We have a plethora of counter spells. We have a couple of removal spells. I don't know. We'll keep. I recognize that guy's name from somewhere. I was thinking we might have played him, but we hadn't. That's what I was double checking. Eek. It's probably a hard match. Scrap Heap Scroungers seem like they're pretty good here. We got crushed by Mardu last night. He may not be Mardu, but like... Alright, so not Mardu. It's like some kind of Jeskai deck. That means our Essence Scatters are a lot less good than they were before. Providing we hit some lands, this should at least be a decent match. I guess he could be Jeskai Gifts. And the match not be very interesting. Already drawn multiple spells we don't want to draw if versus any other control deck. Could be Jeskai Approach as well. This hand seems pretty bad versus Jeskai Approach. It's kind of bad for us to Glimmer in response here because if he just like untaps and slams a Planeswalker, we're in pretty bad shape. Not having Consigned's kind of bad too because like he could have like a cast out or something now. Hopefully there's no Walker though. Immediately taps 2 blue, so that means it's a Jace. Rip. It's roughly the best possible thing he could have. Couldn't counterspell it next turn anyway, we didn't even have the mana. So this looks like this is going to be the Jeskai Approach deck probably. Which means I believe this game's already over. Like too far down. The Planeswalkers makes it pretty easy for you to beat other control decks. The problem is you don't need the Planeswalkers to beat other control decks with Approach. And they're worse in every other match, I think. Like we're going to have some kind of awkward counterspell war? Okay. So you kind of have to play something. Alright. Well, Jace is going to get us. Nothing we're going to be able to do about it either. Guess we'll take the Glimmer. We can't afford to put it on the bottom. I would rather had a land, but then whatever it is resolves. We can't do anything about it. They found something they liked. Being weak to planeswalkers is kind of saddening. I don't even want to cast a Gearhulk here because they have to discard so many cards anyway. They're just tapping a billion mana for an approach. Might as well get one out of their deck. I wanted to cast a Gearhulk out of their way to start pressuring the Jace, so might as well get one out of their deck. Really want to draw an untapped land. A lot of dead cards in our hand. This card doesn't really do a whole lot in this match either. Looks like we have kind of like two useful cards in our hand. I would say three, but like currently can't even resolve that, so. Four? They might be casting Nahiri. Yeah, may not be casting Nahiri, who knows? Could be cast out, I guess. See if the old Glimmer resolves. Supreme Will or Fatal Push. Don't think I want either of those. Yeah. I guess the Supreme Will's better than a blank card. Because it can probably find me a card I actually want. We missed the first land drop this game too, though, which was pretty bad for us. 4, 5, 6. So they have their own gear hooks? Sure. And now, guess they Supreme Will this? No idea. They're just casting their own Glimmer? I mean, opponent's on approach deck. I wouldn't have expected him to have all of those cards. And I want to guaranteed hit a land. I guess Gearhook's best. I don't really want any of those. I want an untapped land. None of those was an untapped land. There won't be a counterspell war. He's playing an approach deck. He's not going to have hard counters. Or if he is, it's going to be like negates, and my spells just aren't going to do anything. Or I'm just not going to draw lands. Tilt. Just not going to draw lands. That's always reasonable. Counterspell War is not even remotely on my mind. If he's got multiple gear hooks, that's bad for me. If he's got multiple gear hooks, I'm not winning anyway. I can't really kill a gear hook. Yeah, but why would I think he has a gear hook? Like, I'm not going to hold up a scatter in case he has a card that's not very heavily played in his deck. So that goes up to 6. I just can't beat all these planeswalkers. Like, why would I think he has a sensor? Or why would I think he has a Gearhulk in his deck? At some point in life, we'll draw enough lands to matter. I have an Essence Scatter for another Gearhulk. He's also played an approach. Like, he can't have everything, right? He can't have hard counter spells, gear hooks, jaces, approaches, removal spells. Like, something has to be cut. I don't know what he cut, but he has to cut something. Like, we just can't beat another Supreme Will. Like, this Jace was probably a one of and it beat us. I have to pay for it, and then we just die to an approach, or die to a Jace bounce, or die to a million things. He has Essence Scatters too? Good lord. We're basically picking what we want to die to here, because we literally can't beat everything. We've drawn as many cards this game as he has too. We're just super weak to Planeswalkers with this deck. Super weak to them. He can literally just beat us with the Gear Hulk now. Doesn't need to, had to approach. I want no part of his deck list. His deck list is 3 colors. I can already tell you his deck list is not efficient. It might be better versus, like I said, it might be better versus other blue decks, but you beat other blue decks with approach anyway. Like, you don't need to make your match better versus me. So all of these cards seem good here. I don't know if the Liliana does. It's kind of hard for him to answer, but I don't know if it seems good. We definitely know we don't want Fatal Pushes. We definitely know we don't want Flaying Tendrils. We've got a few removal spells here. This one can get... They can either one get a cat if cast right, so we probably don't need the Darknesses either. So if we don't need the Darknesses, maybe just bring those in. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't think the Liliana does a lot. Basically, we just have to hit our land drops, but it's hard for us to hit our land drops because they have more ways to... Or it's hard for us to beat them in lands because they have more card draw spells than we do. Scarab God's not particularly great here either, but I don't know. Maybe the Liliana should come in. What would they come in over, though? These little things actually do a decent amount of damage here. They could shorten his clock by 2 or 3 turns. These don't even come into play till turn 7? Yeah, but my deck beats control decks, so why would you want to sleeve up his deck? Like, does that make sense? Your deck already beats control decks, so who cares if you increase your percentage by 10%? Like, you already beat them. I don't think his deck beats blue-black either. I think it beats this build of blue-black. Think if I was playing a build of blue-black that had discard spells and, like, more nevers in the main deck, that last game would have been easy. I actually think we would have won that last game, too, had we just hit lands. Like, if I had double blue, I would have never even let that Jace get in play. But I couldn't control it. We drew double Essence Scatter this game, and Essence Scatter is pretty horrible in this match. So that's pretty fun. Like all these... Oh, sweet. A third Essence Scatter. I thought about sideboarding the Essence Scatters out. If I had sideboarded them out, though, they'd be like a Liliana, and resolving a Liliana there doesn't do a whole lot. Well, that's the card we need. Or now we just need it to resolve. I don't think it's even close. I'm exceptionally happy. I would play this match 10 times or you know, every round if I could. Obviously our 75 is not perfect here, but like our 75 is not set up for this match, and his 75 is set up for this match. But I would take my blue-white control deck, my blue-white approach deck, and play versus him 100 matches in a row if you want. Like, the blue-white approach is just favored versus these decks. I would play my blue-white control deck versus this deck and feel like I'm going to beat it most of the time as well. Like, he literally beat us last game because there's not a single main deck answer to a Planeswalker. Which seems like a deck construction error. Like, it doesn't seem like... It's not the color. There's obviously cards that kill them. It's just our 75 can't beat a Planeswalker that resolves. And his Planeswalker doesn't even resolve last game if we'd hit double blue. So it's like we were kind of mana screwed anyway. I don't think we need to play white. I think we just need to draw better. So that Glimmer's pretty huge there. He's already showed us that he does have Essence Scatters, but I'm going to go ahead and play this anyway. I don't care if he untaps and plays a 7-drop, so if he counterspells this, he just counterspells it. There's actually disallows in our deck too that can hit his thing. I guess we'll at least keep this. I kind of don't want to keep this. This doesn't seem to me like what we need here. I feel like we just need more lands. The thing about negates and stuff, well, one, there is negates in the main board of the deck we're currently playing. We have one negate in this main board. Like, negate's fine as long as you're willing to lose to mono red, as long as you're willing to be weaker versus Teamer. I'm not willing to. I consider Teamer and mono red the two most popular decks in the format, and I'm just not willing to make my deck weaker versus either of them. That's just a personal opinion for me. Like, I'm not willing to lose to those two decks. But I never clicked that thing. Why is this jumping around? If he's got a sensor, I don't even care. I don't care about anything he can play on his next turn either. I'm not really worried about the Scarab God in general. The fact that he still has a sensor, by the way, says his hands is amazing. While our hands practically dead spells. Which is a pretty bad sign. And a Whirler Virtuoso? Wow. You would lose a lot because of this coming to play tap lands, and you would be very mad. I know you pretty well, Matt. You would not play his deck long before you just gave up on it. And you got to keep in mind, he's trying to win with a 7-mana sorcery that he plays twice. Like, having come into play tap lands that and needing like 5-drops, 6-drops, and 7-drops is just super bad. And having to interact on turn 2 and having a lot of come into play tap lands is bad too. Like, they're not even fast lands. Both of mine censor, 2 of his does not censor. Or both of mine cycle, 2 of his does not cycle. Like, having a cycling land is incredibly better than having a land that at no point can do anything else. And anyways, I'm not arguing that my deck's better than his. I'm arguing that his deck doesn't need the third color. I'm arguing that the red doesn't do anything for his deck. I'm not arguing that like my deck's better than his. I'm arguing that Jeskai doesn't need red spells. Like, his red spells haven't done anything either of these matches. His Nahiri's not even going to do much. And this deck's specifically weak to Planeswalkers. So he wants to kill this now? I can just get the other Scarab God back. And then I'll get this one back on my next turn. That seems fine to me. Stops him from getting the energy too. So what do we want to draw? We want to draw decent spells. That's not a decent spell. That's a decent spell. He could have tried to block it with all four things. That would have probably been worth it. And we have Scarab God back. Get to potentially have some kind of awkward counterspell war over this Nahiri. I have no idea what he could be getting. Attacking him doesn't do anything. At all. Like it, I don't even know what he can get that I care about. This is more a precaution than anything. But like putting him at 15 life isn't even something that he would have to block, right? Like he can just ignore taking 4 damage. It has to resolve. Like it's not resolved yet. Alright. So let him loot twice. 5. He's playing a Glorybringer. I guess we'll get some value out of an Essence Catavan. Like his red spells are why we're going to win this game. Completely why we're going to win this game. If we win this game. I'll rephrase. Alright. Let's get his Glorybringer back. We're in pretty good shape now. I'm going to try to scry a land to the top so I have a Gear Hulk and a Negate. We don't need one of you. We will happily take one of you. I'm going to exert this mostly so I can steal his World Breaker if we feel like it. Or sorry, so we can steal his Whirler Virtuoso if we feel like it. That's the main reason that we exerted. The essence scatters that I thought wouldn't do anything because I didn't think he should be bringing in these creatures did a lot. So 2, 4. So that's a Nahiri. He's at 13 life, so a Torrential Gearhulk would technically kill him. Alright, so might as well get a Gearhulk back then. And then summary dismissal to the Harbinger. It's tapping 4 mana. So Negate can get some stuff, and Summary Dismissal can get some stuff, so let's go with the Negate. Oh, never mind, he's conceding, he's not even letting us. His red spells just don't do much, man. The ability would resolve before, like this ability resolves before the Negate does. Or this ability is getting back the Summary Dismissal. But we were going to get Negate, but like this ability will have already resolved, so like it wouldn't counter it in that spot. It would counter it if we had like a bigger stack. But the only thing on the stack was this ability. Alright, so our opponent sideboarded a lot different than I expected him to sideboard, so that makes me want to sideboard potentially different as well. Our Gifted Efferborns seem a lot less good now. His Whirler Virtuosos seem pretty good. No lot, Dan. We're just trying this deck. We're versus Approach, and Approach is pretty good versus these type of decks, but these just don't seem that good, especially if he's going to be bringing in the one things. I don't know. I guess these do still kind of like pressure things, right? They're bad versus Glorybringer, but they're good versus Whirler Virtuoso and his Planeswalkers. Yeah, we'll just leave it the same. It's good versus his Planeswalkers and his Whirler Virtuosos. We have no blue mana. Can we keep this hand? Probably not. Probably not, right? Alright, well this hand's better, but it's not good. Would mulligan any single card in our deck to the bottom that wasn't a land. This build's pretty weak to Planeswalkers, I think, while still not being good versus red decks. In general, I like the idea of blue-black control, but I don't know how to make a good 75. Like, I want Hieroglyphic Illuminations, and I don't know what to cut. So our opponent's playing as fast as he can be now because he's worried about the clock. And if we don't draw some lands, we are going to get what I like to refer to in the business as very wrecked, son. He needs a land too. It's not fair. He hit his. Sackle-dackle. That's not fair. He hit his land and we didn't hit ours. So this might be a quick game. May not be as well. Like, I mean... Obviously, why would we draw lands? It's kind of like game one all over again. We have to discard a card anyway. We have a 2 to slaughter to beat a planeswalker if that's what he has, but so you did Sinahiri. Really need to start drawing these untapped lands. This one can be a tap land, I guess. Sure. That's about the most frustrating way somebody can lose. They just have another planeswalker, and they do. They have another Nahiri. Of course. Why wouldn't they have another Nahiri? If we don't draw a land, we're going to have to Supreme Will for one. Didn't draw a land. Great. I truly feel we lost game 1 and 3 because of lands. Now he's up to 7. Pretty hard for us to even beat that card from here. Yep, pretty sure we can't win. He's only got 2 cards in hand though. Maybe they're both junk. He discarded a negate to his Nahiri. So there's about no way we can win if he's not. Sorry, he didn't discard to his Nahiri. There's about no way we can win if they're not discarding the Nahiri. Is what I'm trying to say. There's 26 and 4 sensors to cycle. We cycled one, still didn't get there. Game's not over. It's just very bad. I'd be impressed if we won. So let's leave it at that. I would be very impressed if we win. Yeah, well, at least we can cast a Gifted Everborn. And proceed to watch as it gets super killed. I will neglect to not pay. If we played the 2-drop last turn, he could have just ultimated this. We had to leave 3 mana up to at least make him not try to ultimate. Because if this goes and gets like a blue Gear Hulk or whatever, the game's just over. Like him getting another Glimmer when we didn't even know we were going to draw land's too much. It's pretty hard for us to even beat the board. Our Devastation's pretty nice, that's for sure. Like, it wouldn't have resolved in this spot anyway, but... Yeah, like, we just can't beat this. We don't have any draws that beat this. We put on bottom with the Glimmer, so I guess that's something, but... Like, we could Demonic Tutor right now and not win. It would be nice if we played a smidge faster, though. I'd like to draw an untapped land to at least try to play the Gear Hulk. And I'm not even worried about the cards he had. He could draw all of those cards, and you could take 2 cards from my hand, or 2 cards we've drawn at random that weren't lands from our deck, and let us draw lands, and I'm pretty sure we would win. Like, what's the best 2 cards you could take? My 2 negates? Still pretty sure I'll win if I hit my land drops. But it doesn't matter. I don't want to complain. This is variance. Variance happens in Magic. It's just kind of annoying because we're like talking about how, like, I'm making a case that I think his deck's bad because of his lands, and then the 2-color deck loses the lands. So that's just kind of like ironic. But whatever. Nahiri did look good this game. Then again, we had 3 mana when he had 7. A ham sandwich would have looked good. He didn't even use it to filter 1 card. Like, he didn't discard 1 card to it. That's not true. He discarded 1 Harness Lightning, and 1 Fumigate. I just like to exaggerate. Yeah, that's the main reason I like them. That is the main reason I like those cards. But, like, I don't even think this game's 100% over. I just think this game's, like, 95% over, right? But you can cycle the Illumination. That's the thing about it. That's the thing that makes the Illumination so good. So what do we sideboard in? Am I going to scoop to this guy so he doesn't time out? Thinking about scooping to him because I don't care that much about the win. I want to see if we have any outs first. I don't want to win based on just time. So if we draw an untapped land, we can play a Gear Hulk, and we can... If we draw an untapped land, we can win. Right? Like, if he doesn't have a counterspell and we draw an untapped land and just play Gear Hulk, and then flashback 2 to Slaughter, which kills this thing, like, we're both at a board stall and we have more Gear Hulks in our hand and he has nothing. I don't think we're dead. I think we're like 90% dead, but I don't think we're 100% dead, right? I would scoop a game if I thought we were 100% dead. But I think we're only like 90% dead. Maybe 95. What do you think? Yes or no, chat? You got 10 seconds. Scoop or not? Now we're 100% dead, right? He got DC'd, man. It's not like he's playing slow. He's having connection issues. It's not like he just sat over there and did nothing. He literally disconnected from the game. If we'd hit a land, we had some outs. I guess he could play bad and we would still have outs now, right? Like if he attacks us for 3, if next turn he just like played the Gear Hulk into an open summary dismissal, we could win. He did take forever to make plays, but he could be at like some random country or something, right? Alright, well the chat's telling me to play. So I guess we'll play. Let's see. Whatever he was casting couldn't have been good there, could it? Alright. Whatever. That was an awkward way to win a game, and I kind of don't even want to post that. So anyway, let's hit stop.